Hello and welcome to another video by Eduboy. In this video, we'll be studying chapter 1 from class 6. What, where, how and when. So let's begin. First of all, let's see what can we know about our past. So there are mainly several things that we can find out. What the people ate, the kinds of clothes they wore, the houses in which they lived. As now you're living, the people don't lived like that 1,000 or 2,000 years ago. We can find out about the lives of hunters, herders, farmers, rulers, merchants, priests, craftspersons, artists, magicians, scientists, and many more people, and the occupation at that time. We can also find out about the games the children play, the story they heard, the plays they saw, and the songs they sang. Now, where did the people live? People had lived along the banks of river for several 100,000 years. Do you know why they lived around the banks of rivers? Because there they get good resources. Water is easily available there. There is also a better quality of soil as the water is very near. Crops can be grown very easily there. For irrigation, the river water is efficient. Some of the earliest people who lived here were skilled gatherers. So, by the term, what do you mean by gatherers? Gatherers are the people who gathered or who collected different types of fruits, vegetables, roots, and then ate them. They were skilled people who gathered their food. They knew about the vast wealth of plants in the surroundings, forest, and collected fruits and other forest produce for their food. They also hunted animals. So basically, in olden times, we had hunter gatherers who hunted and then gathered that. Now find the Suleiman and Kirta hills to the northwest. Let's find them in the map. So here you can see this is Suleiman. Okay, this part of Suleiman is basically now in Pakistan. And Kirtar hills to the northwest, some of the areas where women and men first begin to grow crops. So, in this area, Suleiman, the people, the men and the women first began growing crops. 8,000 years ago, barley was grown there. Means, can you imagine the life of people 8,000 years ago where they didn't have crops? They just depended on what there was in the forest. People also began rearing animals like sheep, goat, and cattle and lived in villages located the Garo and hills to the northeast and Vindhyas in the central India. So Garo, they're sitting in the northeast. So this is Garo Hills. And this is the Vindhyas. Northeast and Vindhyas in the central India. There are some areas where agriculture developed. These places where rice was first grown in Vindhyas. So, in this part of India, rice was grown first there. You have to remember as these are important places in the history. Trace the river Indus and its tributaries are smaller rivers that flow into a larger river. So tributaries are smaller rivers which flow into a larger river. Means many tributaries get formed into one large river. About 47,000 years ago, some of the earliest cities flourished on the banks of these rivers. Later, about 2,500 years ago, cities developed on the bank of Ganga and its tributaries and along the sea coast. As I told you first, why the cities were to be developed there? Because the resources were easily available. Locate the Ganga and its tributaries called the Sun. In ancient times, the areas along these rivers to the south of the Ganga was known as Madhya, now lying in the state of Bihar. So, mainly in Indian language, Madhya means main or central. Madhya lies in Bihar. Its rulers were very powerful and set up a large kingdom and was set up in other part of the country as well. Not only in India, there were many places where such type of changes occurred. Throughout people traveled from one part of the subcontinent to the other. The hills and high mountains, including the Himalayas, deserts, rivers, and seas, made journey dangerous at times, but never impossible. So men and women moved in the search of livelihood. So there is an important question that why the people moved. So the people moved in search of food, in search of better resources, in search of forest, in search of livelihood. Many, it is many mainly as if a flood came, so they have to move, they have to change. Sometimes men marched in armies conquering others' land. Beside, merchants traveled with caravans or ships carrying valuable goods from one place to another. And religious teachers walked from one village to town, stopping to offer instructions and advice on the way. Why do people travel nowadays? So, this answer must be with you. People nowadays travel just for tourism. They want to see new and new things. Names of the land. Two of the words we often use for our country are India and Bharat. The word India comes from the Indus, called Sindhu in Sanskrit. Find Iran and Greece in your atlas. The Iran and Greeks who came through the northwest about 25 years ago and were familiar with Indus called it Hindos or Indos. So, the Irans called Indus as Indos. Basically, because of this, we have got a name Indus, and from that Indus, we got India. Finding about the past. There are several ways of finding about the past. One of the search for read books that were written long ago. They are called manuscripts because they are written by hands. This comes from Latin word manu meaning hand. They are usually written on palm leaf or on the specially prepared bark of a tree known or specially prepared bark of the tree known as the birch which grows in Himalayas. Over the years, many manuscripts now specially prepared of tree known as bench which grows in Himalayas. Over the years, many manuscripts were eaten away by insects, someone destroyed but had survived, often preserved in temples and monasteries. So there are many things that can destroy the manuscript, the writing. Like if a war occurred, the manuscripts can be damaged. These books dealt with all kinds of subjects, religious beliefs and practices, the lives of kings, medicine and science. Besides, these were epic poems, plays. Many of these were written in Sanskrit, other one in Prakritic language used by ordinary people and Tamil. We can also study inscriptions. These are written on relatively hard surfaces. So, what is the difference between a manuscript and an inscription? So, manuscripts were written on a bark of a tree, on a page, etc. that were to be destroyed, but an inscription was written on a hard surface, like on a stone, that was very rare to be destroyed. Now, archaeologists also look for bones of animals, birds, and fishes to find out what people ate in their past. Plant remains survive far more rarely if seeds of grains or pieces of wood have been burnt. They survive in charred form. Historians, that is scholars who study in past, use the word source to refer to the information. So this is an important point that historians who study the past often use the word source to refer to the information. This is to be remembered by all of you. Now, our past or many. So basically, if we have one past or many past. Did you notice the title of this book, Our Past? We have used this word past in plural to draw attention to the fact that past was different for different groups of people. For example, me and my friend have different pasts. So we have many past depending upon a group of people. What do dates mean? If somebody asks you the date, you'll probably mention the day, month, and year. These years are counted from the date generally assigned to the birth of Jesus Christ, the founder of Christianity. So 2000 years means 2000 years after the birth of Christ. All the dates of the birth are counted backwards are usually letter BC means before Christ. BC means before Christ. Okay. Now let us visit this. Elsewhere, we have seen inscriptions are inscribed on hard surfaces. Many of these are inscribed several hundred years ago. All inscription contains both scripts and languages. Languages which are used as well as scripts have changed all time. How do scholars understand what was inscribed? These to be done by this. So here, if you see, you can see a leopard type. So these were how scholars read it. Like in olden times, the letter P was written like something this. The letter L was written something like this. So the historians have to study these to know what has to be written. So if you write PAD, pad, so you'll have to use this, this, and this. So this is mainly about what we studied. So thank you, and don't forget to subscribe Eduboy.